All right, just wrapped up a nice fresh log training session with my new training partner, Hunter. We both have a contest coming up in March, and one of the events is going to be a log clean and press with 280 pounds, the most reps in a minute, and it has to be a full clean and press every time. So we trained log once before, it's probably about 2 weeks ago. We only went up to about 190 or so. Today we got up to here, we're already at like 240. So nice to be using heavier weight. The biggest problem for me was I get bicep tendonitis after I squat with a straight bar. I've had this problem for like 15 years. I've tried every bit of mobility, BPC 157. I take ibuprofen. It's just something that comes about. I actually don't in training squat generally with a straight bar at all. I'll usually go to a powerlifting meet and use straight bar for the first time in the warm up room, which is kind of wild, but it works for me. But yeah, it felt great today. Hunter had previously had a bicep issue too for a much funnier reason. He was punching one of those testers at a bar to see how much punch force you have, and I guess he used to box, so his punch force is pretty elite. But he like pulled something a little bit, so we're both probably really excited to get back to it. So I hit some good reps here with the 240. I think there was a really clean set. That's probably this one of 240 for three. And then I kind of stopped it there, and then we went up to trying 4 reps, and I was starting to get a little forward on my feet, so that sets like 4 reps of me trying to recover because I'm falling forward. Which luckily I did, so it's a big confidence booster. This weight's not too far off of contest weights. Getting comfortable with that felt really good. One nice thing is I have Olympic shoes coming in, so they're gonna have the raised heel. I got them from Notorious because that's the only brand that was in stock. Because there was like a huge sale, probably Christmas or New Year's Day on all Oli shoes, and that's the only ones I could get in my size. Which I don't even have that big of a foot. I'm like an 11 and a half. It's weird for 6'1" and 330, but yeah, I got those on the way. I think that'll help. You'll probably see it on this set. Yeah. So I just, because the weight has to stay forward and you have to get under it, the goal is really to get my elbows forward under the log once the clean is done. And so if that happens, it's super stable. And the truth of the matter is, like, I could probably strict press 300 right now. But like to get the legs involved like that, I need to be able to stay under it. And I think the shoes are going to help. But all in all, I was super happy with how today went. I've always had trouble figuring out how to use my legs and a press. And the last time we did this, I figured out just going wider to my squat stance helped a lot. Yeah, look at that recovery. Flew forward, even got it back down to hit the crash pads because I think in a contest that's one of the rules. Something like you have to show control, or it may even have to re-hit the pads. Hunter's such a freaking gentleman that he even puts it back for me here, which is awesome. Yeah, and this was the set where I did 4, so was pretty happy with that. I'm gonna be honest, I think today me and Hunter said that in the contest, maybe 5 reps in a minute might be good because this 4 took me a little over a minute, probably a lot to do with the recovery and stuff like that. So I think with practice, 5, maybe 6 is going to be where we're going to land. Which, and there's Hunter hitting the 240. I think he just did doubles. You'll see Hunter's technique is a little bit different. I mean, he's so good at the clean that to save himself a little power in the lockout, he does what's called a viper press. So it's almost a one motion thing. I tried it on 1 rep at like 200, and I did it just from the floor. I didn't even get it to my lap. I just literally pulled it up so fast that he said it looked like I used my biceps. I promise you I didn't. It's just like my off the floor power is stupid good enough that I was able to get it over my head like that. But he mastered it, and then when he runs out, then he has to go to the push press, and he does need a little bit of work on the triceps. You're going to see we actually did a contest. I think that's this right here. So what we decided was we'd go back down to the 200-ish range, and we would do as many reps as we could do in a minute. It's funny, too, because I put up a poll on Instagram because I told him, I was like, most people probably think that you would beat me at this just based on cardio or whatever. Everybody's a big fan of Hunter, and I'm here for it, but he's not beating me on anything, all right? Like, let's just be clear. I'm just physically going to be stronger than him. I know he wants to push. He's probably hearing this right now thinking, like, nah, he's going to beat me on things. I take that back. He might beat me on farmer's carries, so my grip is pretty weak right now compared to what it should be. But that's one of the good things about strongman for me is if I have to center on my grip, if I have to concentrate on that during this training, it's going to carry over really well in powerlifting because I have a little bit of a curse where I can deadlift like, how do you call it, 30 pounds more um, with straps just because I can't hold on to it. I got 705 up in a contest in December and just my hand ripped open, and I did lock it out and hold it for a down command. But because my hand ripped open, I didn't get the reps. So here goes Hunter with he got 6 reps. I got 7 reps in a minute. Spoilers. And so what he does, I like the technique in general. He Viper presses as many as he can in the beginning, which is probably getting you a lot of time off the clock overall. And then as it gets harder, he's going to drop into a clean and a push press, which I think is a pretty smart technique for him. And it's funny because he had even said, like, because of that, he probably could have beat me if he had, like, just a little bit more tricep strength. Because you're going to see that's the last Viper press, I think. And then when he goes into his clean and push press, he just gets it real close, but the lock, oh, there you go. You know, another Viper press. He's going to get real clear. You go, check the time. He had like 30 seconds left at this point. So he had done a lot of reps in that first 30 seconds, which was good. But then once the lockout power is done for him, it becomes a bit of a problem. So yeah, we're gonna build his tricep and maybe shoulder strength up a lot. Which when we do these workouts, and you're gonna see it right here, there's a lot of accessories involved, and this is something that I believe that Hunter got the idea from Eddie Hall. And so he's either doing an incline dumbbell press. This turned more into a shoulder press because that's what I wanted to do because I really like straight overhead pressing with dumbbells. I'm stupid good at it. But what Hunter did is he said, all right, we're going to do 30 reps. I think I started with 50 pounds, and then I did 60 pounds. It's 30 reps, and what he said specifically was your first rep has to look like your last rep. It doesn't have to feel like it, but it has to look like it, which means that you keep the pace the whole time, and you don't slow it down, stop for any amount of like rest. 30 reps was no joke. I didn't film Hunter's, but he did similar weight, just a little bit lighter than me. And then we went over to this machine, which Rise Athletic Club has some really cool stuff. This is like a French press machine. That's what my old coach Pete Rubish called it. Felt really good today. Sometimes I get elbow pain, but with the angle done right and the elbow sleeves on, which are from Cerberus Strength, which I just got for Christmas, it felt really good. In fact, like I would say my biceps and my elbows felt so good today. It was so nice to be able to really push the weights and everything without pain. Sometimes like unfortunately when you get to a certain strength level and you've been lifting for a while, the little injuries and the niggles that they call them in, like I always hear Lauren Chalet and all the British guys call them niggles, like little aches and pains that aren't even really injuries that follow you around. They limit what you can do, and it sucks because you're stronger than that, but you can't express that strength unless you're healthy enough to. So for me, on those days where you're healthy enough to push, like I try to push the volume if nothing else. Like you don't have to max out the weights, but definitely the volume. This was more extra credit. I just wanted to do some circus dumbbell because I think it's the most fun thing ever. This is only a 94-pound circus dumbbell, which is super light in strongman. I think 200 is probably where it gets good, but you can see we don't struggle with it. I don't think Hunter had done it before. I didn't have to give him a lot of coaching, but I was kind of showing him, yep, you want it way back on your shoulder like that. Try to shorten the range of motion. And this is actually one of the only lifts that I think I use my legs a little more properly on. I think Hunter actually used less leg drive than I did, but it was cool. And then I'm adding this in here because I am super proud. This is my wife, and she is a great deadlifter. She's only been powerlifting for a little over a year. And this was her first 300-pound conventional deadlift. Super, super cool. She had pulled 286 right before that, and it didn't go super smooth, and we got that one done, and we were super proud of her.